Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's basically all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon everybody, it looks like we are live. I just managed to hit that change screen button just in time, in the nick of time. Right, we've got lots to go through today, and I mean lots. And this is going to be nothing compared to what's coming in the future. What a day it has been. So I'm just going to try and sort of like whiz through this intro bit. So again, for any newbies who are watching the show for the first time, because I can already see numbers going up on the viewing figures. The reason we broadcast on Twitch is because of YouTube. We've already tried to take down 2 of my channels. Then they were preventing me from editing my shows. Then they were deleting episodes. And I was like, you know what? This is absolutely ridiculous. So now we broadcast live on Twitch every day live at 5 from whichever country that I'm in. Just go to www.twitch.tv/SatoshiTV. And with that, let's just jump straight into it. I've just improved this image earlier today. Wait for this to come up if Twitter allows me to view images. Thank you very much. Here we go. Check it out. So this is Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin is BSV because BSV is exactly what Bitcoin was when it started. The only thing that's changed is the ticker symbol, which we'll explain to in a minute. So first of all, when describing Bitcoin to somebody, I am just simply going to let Michael Saylor do all the talking for me. Have a listen because he has studied all the technicals about Bitcoin. Here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is. And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million, you can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it. If Bitcoin's going to fail, it's not going to fail due to lack of functionality or lack of speed or lack of scalability. In my opinion, if Bitcoin is going to fail, it's going to fail because of it loses trust and security. We have to protect the network integrity at all cost.
There we go. That was the main thing. We have to protect the network integrity at all cost. Michael, what do you think all these shenanigans have been about? It's been about exactly what you just said there. It's about protecting the integrity of the chain. So let me tell you what is absolutely fundamental about the chain. Even though the network is distributed and there are miners competing with one another for the financial rewards that Bitcoin creates, you still have a group of developers who need to be held to account when they are using the network. And the way you hold all users and developers on the network to account is via a chain of signatures. So whenever you get a group of developers who are going to try and hijack and attack Bitcoin, the first thing they're going to go for are the signatures. The signatures are absolutely fundamental to the integrity of the chain. And this is one of the reasons why the first chain split happened. Because Blockstream, a group of developers funded to the tune of $100 million by financial institutions that have got suspiciously close links to the Federal Reserve, proposed a change called, well, they described it as soft fork. It's actually a hard fork because it fundamentally changed Bitcoin, called SegWit. Now, the reason they called it SegWit is because they didn't want to tell everyone that they were actually segregating the signatures. They were just like, oh, SegWit, well, yeah, let's just abbreviate that. Segregated witness, like, witnesses see things and all that. If they were going to say, hold on a minute, what we're actually doing is calling it SegWit, or what should we call it? Segsig. Yeah, we're going to call it Segsig. What does that mean? Well, it means we're segregating the signatures. People might question that. I'd be like, hold on a minute, is that a good idea? Like, a Bitcoin was meant to be a chain of signatures. Oh, well, yeah, it creates more room in the block. Well, if you need more block size, all you simply do is increase the block size so that you can fit more transactions in it. What you don't do is start removing signatures from the block itself and then doing a second layer solution, because a second layer solution is fundamentally worthless. What gives Bitcoin value is the security of its data. And all data that goes through the blockchain is immutable because it is stored on the blockchain. And when it's immutable, it can have value. So anything that runs on a second layer that, for example, has to go through nodes, because it doesn't go through the process of going through the blockchain, it means the data isn't safe. It can just simply be deleted. It can be cracked, hacked, altered, changed, which is why any second layer solution will have to be registered as a money service business and hold money transmitter licenses so that they don't lose money. But that's the whole point. Bitcoin can only be commodity money when it goes through the blockchain. And also, it's miners who support the network. Miners need transactions to go through the blockchain so that they can economically support themselves. When you have BTC and Blockstream tell everyone, oh, don't use it, oh, store of value, oh, you don't spam the network, oh, a second layer solution. You are taking the bread and butter off of the table from the miners who support the network. You are fundamentally destroying it because the block reward happens every 210,000 blocks, which is on average about every 4 years. So when the block reward gets cut in half and half and half and half again and then half again, sooner or later, very quickly, there will be nothing left. So at the moment, we are only on 6.25 Bitcoin. At the next halving, it's going to be 3.1. And then after that, it's going to be like 1.6. It's like literally. And there is no reason for anybody to buy BTC other than number go up. And if it's number go up, it is just a Ponzi scheme. It has got no utility behind it whatsoever. And if you don't believe me that Blockstream do actually fundamentally control BTC, just have a listen to what Samson Mow, who is the Chief Strategy Officer at Blockstream, said when he was interviewed by Simon Dictwit and Max Kaiser. Have a listen to this.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. there's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh.
All right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No. So this, it's an interesting. Now that there's.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Now that there's a. So for anybody who didn't quite catch that or can't believe their ears about what they just heard, let's run over that one more time.
There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I heard that. Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh! Hole in one! An own goal for Samson Mao. That's all you need. BTC is centrally controlled by Blockstream. I wrote to them and I said, can you confirm this to be true? They said he was joking. Well, if he was joking, why is it factually correct? Literally. And he didn't even lose his job. Like, absolutely hilarious. You've got to wonder why, initially sort of like BTC went to a previous all-time high in 2017 and then like crashed right the way down to $3,000 and nobody at Blockstream lost their job. Like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine if that was a public limited company? And the share price tanked like that, there would be heads rolling, but not at Blockstream because we know where they get their money from. And where they get their money from is unlimited funds. And they just simply don't want Bitcoin to work, which is why you're not meant to spam the network. Absolutely ridiculous. So then, after they end socially engineered control of the ticker symbol, crashed its fundamental value to zero, implemented the chain split on the 1st of August 2017, and literally by the 24th of August 2017, they had implemented SegWit and got complete control of the chain. And as a group of developers, they kind of they chased all the genuine Bitcoin devs like Gavin Andresen, out of the little clan with pitchforks. And so when Vitalik approached them and said, excuse me, Blockstream, can I build my Ethereum on top of your blockchain? They were like, no. He was like, oh, okay, then right, I'll build my own then. And now we have Ethereum, which is a pile of shit with all the shit coins on it as well. Like, oh my goodness me. So the chain just eventually had to continue, but it went under another ticker symbol, which was BCH. And then Roger Ver and his crony mates thought they would do exactly the same thing as BTC. But instead of segregating the signatures, they were like, you know what? We'll add Schnorr signatures, which enables you to hide transactions on the network so that it is illegal. It is non-regulatory compliant, so that global trade and international commerce can never use it, which means it's a closed market, which means it's fundamentally worthless and will crash to zero because it's going to be resigned to the waste paper bin of eternity. And if you don't believe me that a B crash is a load of shit, let's have a listen to what Roger said in his interview. Here we go.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal.
It's not that it has to be legal. It's that it just simply has to comply. That's it. So long as it complies with regulation, which means it's not illegal. Being illegal means it is doing something wrong. It is harming society. It is cheating in the game where you have rules, for example, is what it means. Absolutely ridiculous.
Right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for?
What do you mean, what do we need a cryptocurrency for? It is commodity money. Have you seen the amount of damage that fiat currency does? We all know that when a civilization or an empire is about to collapse, its currency gets debased. And with the fiat currency system that we're using, debasement comes in the form of massive hyperinflation. And as we know, more dollars and fiat currencies have been printed in the last 6 months than have in the last 200 years. It is about to collapse. That's why we need a commodity money, Roger, not a cryptocurrency crime coin that you and your schoolboy mates can like go and buy drugs with on the dark net. Absolutely ridiculous.
Do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law. They're above the law.
That is absolutely ridiculous, stupid, reckless, irresponsible, whatever else you want to call it. If the law cannot shut it down, the army is then called in and they will shut it down. Either way, it's coming down because it's harming society and no one wants it. And anonymous cryptocurrencies are centralized because there is no one holding the creator of those anonymous currencies to account. They can do what they want. They can inflate the supply, which is what Roger touched on previously when he was talking about Monero and Zcash. It's like, oh, maybe they're such great coins, but why is the price so low? Maybe they're inflating the supply, but we won't know because there's no way of telling. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate. And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down. We should ask the BSVers this: if they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain?
Yeah.
I hope the answer would be no. Which is just a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly.
Roger, you're so silly.
But then there's other BSV fans that, I'm very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But
Derek McGill?
The ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Thanks, Roger. I will, because I wouldn't touch Bcrash with a Parge Bowl. Reason being is that the only reason you'd be using Bcrash is if you're using it for illegal purposes. And if you're using it for illegal purposes, it means you're committing a criminal act. And if you're committing a criminal act, it means you're a criminal. And you will be labelled as such. And then you will be stupid, because criminals don't want to be labelled as criminals. Because if they're labelled as criminals, they won't be able to get away with doing criminal shit. So even criminals aren't that stupid unless they're really dumb. Maybe if they're as dumb as you, they might. But if you want to know why I call it Bcrash, it's because Roger also calls it Bcrash. Have a listen.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
There we go. Spreading Bitcoin Crash across the entire country there in Antigua. Right, so money cannot have a central point of authority or control, which is why CSW knew it was going to be the greatest honey trap in history. But there was nothing that he could do about it, because in order to solve the paradox of the centralized starting point, he had to let it grow for a period of 10 years without any central point of authority, control or influence in order to give it its fundamental credibility. But by making it such that it wasn't centrally controlled, it just simply had to be open to manipulation, so that these douchebags like Blockstream and Roger Ver and his crony mates would do what he predicted they would do, which was try and wrestle control of it, steal the ticker symbol, take people's value, which is why he set up the Tulip Trust on the 9th of June 2011, that had 17% of the overall supply, which means it can be used to tank all of these shitcoins. It was Bitcoin's one and only truly insurance policy, which is why he labeled it the Tulip Trust, because he knew that it could potentially be the largest bubble in history. And it is, because it dwarfs Tulip Mania. Tulip Mania was just simply resigned to the Netherlands. Bitcoin is global and it is massive. In fact, I think it's worthy of looking up at the picture for any newbies who are watching my show for the first time. I know I've got it here somewhere. Come on, it should be one of these maybe. Hold on, let's have a look. Is it that one? Come on, come on, come on, come on, Twitter. Come on, load it up. You can do this. Oh, it's around this somewhere. I know I saw it the other day. Come on, come on. Come to Papa. Is it this one? Come on. Let's have a look. Surely. Oh, it's close. There we go. That's the one I'm after. Talking about bubbles. This orange one is Bitcoin. So we've got the dot-com bubble in yellow. We have got the South Sea Company, like the Mississippi Company, in blue. We've got the tulip bubble, the tulip mania, in red. And look at Bitcoin comparatively. It is absolutely massive. It absolutely dwarfs even the biggest frauds in history. Bernie Madoff, 60 billion. Enron, 63 billion. WorldCom, 107 billion. And what is BTC now? Let's have a quick look at the market cap and find out how big the bubble is. Here we go. Market cap, 582 billion. Almost $500 billion of absolute shit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right, so again, for any newbies who are listening to this, or let's say this is for actually like intellectual people, maybe Michael Saylor might be listening to my show one day. This is what the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto says about power, control, and money in Bitcoin. Here we go.
This is what it all comes down to. See, what people don't understand is Bitcoin, with a stable protocol, takes away power. If no one can change the protocol, not me, not God, there's no power in money. Money is all about power. And this is one of the things Bitcoin has done. It has removed that power. It will remove that power globally.
There we go. This is one of the things Bitcoin has done. Do you want your money in the hands of a central authority who can just simply do what they want with it? Or do you want a money that no one controls? Do you want a money and a system that takes away power? That's where I would want my money. My money is not safe if it is in a security. In other words, it is manipulated and controlled and dependent on a centralized group of developers. No, thank you. So Satoshi Nakamoto knew exactly what he was going to do with Bitcoin. He knew that it was all about adding value. So let's listen to his motivation and drive for creating such an amazing thing like Bitcoin. Here we go.
At the end of the day, we own a lot of Bitcoin. The simple thing is, if we make the network scale, we make it bigger.
Like Michael Saylor wanted, big blocks on the blockchain.
My main compensation, more than anything anyone could ever pay me, is the price of Bitcoin goes up. So that's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
There we go. That's what they spend money for. Very simple. Now, I'm just going to try and find the rest of Michael Saylor's interview here, because he actually goes on about the price of Bitcoin. Here we go. Let's have a listen to this.
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
So do we, Michael. So do we.
Monetary energy in the world that's looking for a safe haven store of value is got to be between 100 trillion and 250 trillion. Like, why not all of it? Like, why not 300 trillion or 350 trillion? If whatever, the total sum of everything. In theory, all monetary energy that's simply looking for a store of value safe haven index should presumably drain out of real estate, cash, stocks, and bonds into the Bitcoin network.
There we go. He has done his research. Like he is going to be absolutely pissed. Like, absolutely pissed. Like, when he finds out, will it be too late? I mean, he's already like knocking all these shit coiners, and it's just kind of like, how much egg is he going to have on his face? Will he be able to scrape it off? Like, I don't think he will be able to be honest with you. But let me just see if I can find this. Here we go. Michael Saylor. When he interviewed with Dan Held, this was hilarious. When he was going on about his ideas. Hold on one second. Here we go. Let's play this.
I didn't know the company would make.
Hold on.
If I keep expanding the monetary supply. It's the same thing as if I created a room at 70 degrees with oxygen and I kept expanding the room by 10%.
Yeah, I'll find another. Hold on.
And there are different systems, the Argentine peso. There's everybody in crypto Twitter, and they're all running around like making all these snarky comments like Bitcoin Cash is 20 times faster transaction rate than Bitcoin.
Listening to the wrong camp there, Michael. And like, honestly, when you consider how many stocks there are on the stock market, there really aren't that many shitcoins in comparison, especially as all you need to do is look at the consensus algorithm. How many proof of work coins are there? Because they're the only ones that have got any chance whatsoever. How many of those proof of work coins have centralized mining? Pretty much all of them, apart from Bitcoin. How many are proof of stake? How many are ERC20 tokens? How many are delegated proof of stake? How many are pre-mined? All absolutely and utterly fundamentally worthless. It really doesn't take a lot. And like I said, you can see that he has done his research and he is a smart cookie. He is not gonna like the idea of being mugged off, which is what has happened to him, especially not when he has sunk $1 billion into this and probably more. Now, I'm trying to find the bit where he goes on about, he's explaining about his ideas and how it's the good ideas that have failed, not because they were good ideas, but because, other things were rushed and blah, 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 blah. Now, he's invested in Bitcoin. He has had a good idea. Like, when he realizes what Blockstream have done and he understands the political situation, he is going to be on the warpath. He is not going to take it lying down, and he is not going to enjoy it like one little bit. So I'm desperate to find it here. Hold on.
Which is so dissipating energy, right? So if you're the 0.1%, join, it's permissionless, or that you don't get to suspend it, right? And this is the case. So if you study engineering,
all right, hold on a minute. There's I'm actually looking for a slightly short. Oh, this got it, found it. Here we go. It's the one I'm after.
Time, Dan, but I think it's worthwhile to make this one point. Like, I'm not here to fix Bitcoin. I'm not the newbie that came here to fix Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin the way it is.
Yep.
Off-chain from Kraken, from Square, from PayPal, from Binance, from Coinbase. Blockchain does what incremental changes we should move forward.
Here we go.
There's small incremental changes we should move forward.
Let's see what he says.
The rest, the blockchain does what it does. We should protect it. We should secure it. There's small,
That is what we're doing here in the Genuine Bitcoin, Michael. Like, come and have a listen.
Small incremental changes we should move forward very carefully. Extremely carefully. And the fact that people are extremely careful, it's a good thing, because if Bitcoin's going to fail, it's not going to fail due to lack of functionality or lack of speed or lack of scalability, Dan.
Exactly, because that's exactly what Blockstream have done purposely.
In my opinion, if Bitcoin is going to fail, it's going to fail because it loses trust and security. It's a robustness issue. We have to protect the network integrity at all cost. It's going to fail for one of two reasons. A, some engineer with a good idea, a really insanely good idea, introduces an unknown into the network and it breaks. But all my failures, Dan, I've had a lot of successes, a lot of failures. We could spend 2 hours talking about the success and the failures. Another podcast. But let me tell you, I never failed because I pursued a bad idea. All my failures were insanely good ideas that everybody around me agreed was a good idea.
Just like the investing in Bitcoin, Michael, you've just not done your research on the politics.
That didn't work, right? No bad ideas. No one pursues bad ideas. So if Bitcoin fails, it'll be because an engineer had a good idea and we got too enthusiastic about it.
Or a group of developers had a nefarious idea and purposely did what you don't want them to do. That could be the other alternative, because that is what has happened, Michael. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So let's just have a quick look at these shitcoin market. So maybe if he watches my show one day, he'll see this. I mean, I've tried to make it as simple as possible with pictures on it, because a picture paints 1,000 words. I'm trying to make it easy. But let's remind ourselves, what does it shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey,
hey. Hey, hey,
hey. Now you'll see that Litecoin is the only other coin on here that isn't a security. It is a genuine commodity. Now, the only reason I've got the result as a pile of poo is because we know that Charlie Lee exit scammed the shit out of it. And the reason he exit scammed the shit out of it is because he started it. And he, being the central point of authority, control, and influence, starting the network, is what discredits it. And let's have a listen to what Charlie Lee said about his own creation.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? I didn't really expect it to become anything.
No, Charlie, I didn't know that. It would have been nice if you told me that before I started looking at it, or a potential investor went in and bought it. You just created it for a bit of fun and a bit of a laugh, did you? Selling out at the top, like absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, this is what was going on about proof of work coins. We've got like Bcrash. It's a security because Roger Ver and his crony mates completely centralize and control the network. Coin is a security because Blockstream completely centralize and control the network. Cardano, security because Input-Output Hong Kong are the only centralized mining on the network. Monero, a security because only the people who created it even know about the monetary supply. They have complete control over it. Ethereum, a security because it's moved to proof of stake. Proof of stake is literally, there is no competition between the stakeholders. It is a centralized system. It is absolutely a security. Same with Polkadot, same with EOS, same with Binance being an ERC20 token, Chainlink, Tether, XRP pre-mined, Stellar pre-mined, Tron pre-mined, Neo pre-mined. Absolute bags of shit. It really doesn't take much, Michael. I think you're going to be extremely disappointed with yourself when you find out what has happened. Right, so on that note, let's move on and have a look at these figures. I haven't been through these today. This is where the politics lies. This is all you need to know. So again, I'm not going to be looking at these shit coins. I'm not interested in them. Coin or Bcrash. I'm only looking at Bitcoin. So we got 0.7% of the hash rate, 2.1% of the nodes, 33.7% of the transactions, and 29% of the block size. Again, it'll just simply come with time, which follows price, which follows value, which follows utility. Whoa, Tal, macking it hard. Whoa, whoa. Okay, gonna look forward to seeing that when we get to the bottom in the hash rates. Right, let's have a spot the biggest block on Bcrash. Oh wow, they got a 3.7 megabyte block. Well done them. Biggest I've ever seen on their network. But again, it's just because they're doing this promotional push at the moment. Absolute piece of crap. And look at Coin. Look, Michael, if you don't believe that they haven't got a 1 megabyte restriction, the numbers speak for themselves. They are never going to scale it. You are never going to have big blocks. Ever. Right, look at Hathor chomping away, like mining big blocks on Bcrash. And there is literally no reason for Hathor to be on Bcrash other than sheer spite. I find it absolutely hilarious. Like 1.1 megabyte, 1.7 megabyte, brilliant. And Paul's miner 1.9, it's just absolutely hilarious. But look at this. Look at this. Tal absolutely macking it. Let's see if we've got a block with double figures in. No, relatively small at the moment. Okay, I mean, normally we can see a block with double figures in, which these other two shitcoins would be absolutely over the moon about if they got anywhere close to it. So have a look at these charts then. So Bitcoin hash rate, yeah. Again, that follows price, which follows value, which follows utility. Because when it has utility, it then has a value. And when it has a value, it can have a price. And then when it has a price, it can then be measured against other goods and services and be used as a medium of exchange. That is what it's all about. Proof of work by network, again, Coin and Bcrash will just simply stop overnight. Again, I mean, it's interesting. I'm learning all the time, like, you know, as how it's going to play out. And it looks like CSW is doing everything by the book. And again, if I knew what the book was, I would probably have an idea about what he's going to do. I was just thinking, like, you know, technically and fundamentally, how is it possible? What needs to be done? But yeah, again, you know, absolutely amazing what he's doing. You know, yeah, in awe of what's going on right now. So Bcrash versus Bitcoin hash rate, Bcrash versus Bitcoin proof of work. Oh, look at that! It's 52,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin. And it's 7.5% more profitable to mine a core coin. That's just because like number go up recently, but you know. A daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Oh yeah, Bcrash making a run for it, Core coin going nowhere. Daily Bitcoin transactions by network. Oh look, Bcrash, they're trying to get there. Desperate to play with the big boys, but ain't gonna happen. Daily average Bitcoin transactions per block by network. Oof, getting close. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network. I mean, this is it. I mean, look at that. Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. Fees Satoshis, Bitcoin absolutely smashing it because it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Block reward ratio, again, just like I said, comes with the time, price follows value, follows utility. Blockchain growth by network, you're just laughing at Bcrash there. Absolutely hilarious. But here we go. This is what I want to have a look at. So we've got global hash rate, 7 days, the three big boys at the top. That's what we used to see. And then Binance and Ampool, the biggest shitcoin enterprises in 4th and 5th. Global hash rate, 24 hours. Binance pulling their socks up. Looks like Jihan's being pushed down into 5th. Now that should look similar to Core Coin. Yeah, look at that. Almost identical between those two. Yeah, almost identical. Looks like Kano and Huobi might have switched places. That's interesting. Has Huobi jumped onto Bitcoin maybe? That'll be interesting if they have. Bcrash. Look at this, Antpool. Antpool macking it hard on Bcrash. You wouldn't expect anything less because Antpool is part of Bitmain, and it's Bcrash is their shit for brains ideology, which is why they're mining it. Absolutely hilarious. Here we go. Look at Bitcoin. Wow. So Tal absolutely macking it, and Huobi really wanting a piece of the pie. Like they know something. Like Tal is not mining on Core Coin. No, they are not. And Huobi has cut their hash rate down. Like they know something is up. They know something is up. I mean, look, we've got other mining pools on there, just like keeping them at bay because they want it so badly, chomping at the bit. I mean, let's have a look at the. Well, yeah, so it's still 7.5% more profitable to mine on BTC. So it shows you the demand that these boys, you know, these enterprises, Tal and Huobi, have for Bitcoin. You know, they want it. They want it badly. In fact, they're willing to forego 7.5% in profits just because they want Bitcoin and no other shitcoin. Yeah, it's that's massive. Right, so again, for any newbies, we'll just simply have a look at, I've got Bitcoin blocks live is what we want, to see the chain functioning in front of our very eyes, having a workout. Let's see what's going on. So these vertical rectangular blocks at the top are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. Below it are the organizations who are generating those transactions. And then we've got the transaction ID, the input, the output, and the op return. Once the transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, they're thrown into the meme pool, which is where they are then competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, store the block on the blockchain, and win the Coinbase, which is currently 6.25 Bitcoin. So if we scroll over this 7 megabyte block, in the highlighted block below, we've got the hash number, the height, who it was mined by, size, time date, transaction count, and total fees. And as we here in Bitcoin know that the total fees in the block is anticipated to surpass the block reward, which is roughly about $1,000 per block in, they said, Q1 2021, which is what we are now in. We have only got 2.5 months left, in fact, less than that. So huge transaction volumes expected very soon. Very soon. Yeah, and again, it's all part of you know, nuking these shitcoins out of the water is all part of it. So it's very exciting. Let's have a look at these charts. Let's see who's doing what. Yeah, predict ecology. Wow. I mean, look at that. That's massive. But we've still got Anne that we covered yesterday. Peer games, TDXP app, air quality index. I mean, yeah, huge volumes. Let's see where CentBee down here. I mean, look at that. So CentBee is the oh, they've got Pew Pew. I think that's on Handcash. Pew Pew. Wow. Yeah, huge volumes of transactions on there. So they've actually overtaken CentBee as the CentBee is the most, well, probably the most used wallet at the moment. But yeah, great. Good to see all those things on there. And actually, we'll just have a quick look at trends.cash. Trends.cash. Because there's going to be loads more enterprises and apps being released on the chain soon. Apps ranking by performed actions and apps ranking by money spent. I mean, look at TDXP. Look at the amount of money being spent on that. Wow. ReallyX become very popular recently. We all know why. And apps ranked by performance. Let's have a look at this. So Router SV. Again, I mean, it'd be interesting to know if we can actually, if there's like a, you know, I'm looking forward to the day when, because I think a lot of these are like tester apps at the moment. You know, they don't have sort of like anything official. So, for example, if we go to TDXP app, that'll actually take us straight to the app, I guess. Oh no, all right. So it just takes us to the statistics. Right, interesting. All right. Yeah, I mean, all these things are gonna these things are gonna get really exciting very soon, with the volume of transaction that is anticipated and expected. Wow. All right, so again, bit info charts for newbies. You've got the rich list on here, which has got all the wallets with a number of bitcoins and shitcoins in. They've got various metrics that you can compare the different shitcoins between them. But we're going to go to bit info charts here. You can see all the shitcoins listed across the top, and then on the left hand side there are tabs. So if we just go to transactions average per hour, and we go to blog, and we go to 3 years on here, we can see all the metrics. We'll take Dogecoin out. We'll obviously add in Bitcoin because that's the only one we're really interested in. But we'll put Bcrash in there for lols. And there we go. So for any intelligent investor, and investors should be intelligent, you want to look at number go up, but price is not the number you want to be looking at. Price is the last thing to move, so therefore it is the last thing to matter, which means it's the last thing you should be looking at. It's the metric that literally doesn't tell you jack shit. You know, unless you're just simply a dirty trader with no fundamental interest in investing, and you're just like, oh, a number go up, I'll have that. Oh, a number might go down. It's just gambling. It's absolute bollocks. This is investing. This is the only number you want to be looking at. The number of transactions over a 24-hour period. Like, you know, Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. And look at that. This is where it starts. 15th of November 2018. Whereas look at all these other coins. They go right back. And this is Bitcoin, the genuine one. You can see it. This is utility. This is strength. This is intelligence. This is development. This is motivation. This is genuine value that we can see here in front of our very eyes. Absolutely amazing. Right, so I'll be going for 43 minutes. I'll leave that there for the YouTube trailer. Let's get into it. Good grief. Got loads to get through today. Right, so let's first of all read this thing that kicked off today's shenanigans. Check it out. So this was sent to Cobra Bitcoin by Ontario, who are the solicitors acting for Craig Wright. So this is dated 20th of January, so this was just yesterday. Dear Sir, our client, Dr. Craig Wright, notice of infringement of copyright. We act for Dr. Craig Wright, who is the author of and owner of copyright throughout the world in a literary work entitled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Commonly known in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world as the white paper, Dr. Wright is the individual behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto and is the creator of Bitcoin. We strongly suggest that you take legal advice upon the contents of this letter, which is written in compliance with the pre-action protocol application to intellectual property claims in the High Court of England and Wales. The protocol can be viewed at... we are writing to you via your Twitter account, since we do not currently know your true identity and do not have any other contact details for you. In order to facilitate future communications, we require you to provide us with A, your full name, B, your email address, and C, your postal address. Should you refuse to provide these details, our client will take steps to ascertain them by other means, including, if necessary, the making of applications to the court to compel disclosure of this information by you and/or third parties. Dr. Wright originally released the white paper pseudonymously under the name Satoshi Nakamoto on the 31st of October 2008. At the time, our client wished to preserve the confidentiality of his identity as the author of the white paper. As you may know, in December 2015, our client's identity and his authorship of the white paper was revealed to the world against his will. Again, that was Gizmodo and Wired magazine outing him. And again, people still doubt this. You know, like Gizmodo magazine and Wired magazine already outed him. He's like, yes, you've done your research. You are correct. I am Satoshi Nakamoto. You know, and these shitcoiners with shit for brains still can't even join the dots. I mean, there is so much more to that, as well. I mean, I've read the white paper, and if you know Craig, like literally his English slang is all over it. Absolutely hilarious. Like Section 2 transactions. We don't care about double spends. It's like who's we? Like me, myself, and I. And who doesn't care? You know, it wasn't like, oh, so therefore we don't need to worry about double spends, or so therefore double spends are irrelevant. It was like, we don't care about double spends. It's full of it. It's full of it. It's hilarious. In May 2016, he publicly confirmed that he authored the white paper and created Bitcoin. Dr. Wright has decided that it is time to enforce his copyright in the white paper. We understand that you are the controller and operator of the website www.bitcoin.org, which, amongst other cryptocurrency activities, makes the white paper available for download to the public in the UK and throughout the world. As you know, and as you admit on the website, the domain name bitcoin.org is owned by our client. The website is, however, wrongfully controlled by you, and our client no longer consents to its publication of the white paper. The purpose of this letter is to give you notice that Dr. Wright requires you to stop making the white paper available and to give an undertaking not to do so in the future. Provided that your response to this letter indicates that you are prepared in principle to provide the undertaking referred to above, our client is willing to waive any claim to financial relief for your past infringements and to agree to your having a reasonable time to make the necessary arrangements to comply with the undertaking requested. In principle, our client considers that a period of 1 month from the date of this letter should be sufficient, but our client is willing to consider alternative proposals. We consider that this is a straightforward copyright infringement claim and accordingly would ask you to respond to this letter within 14 days, i.e. by 4 PM GMT on the 3rd of February 2021. Failing that, our instructions are to issue proceedings without further notice, claiming an injunction, appropriate financial relief for your past infringements of copyright in the white paper, costs, and an order of the for the publication by you of appropriate notices on your website and advertisements of the result of the action. We should add that our client and other associates with him have further rights relating to the Bitcoin technology and the Bitcoin name. Yeah, the Bitcoin name, got a copyright on that bad boy. Including ownership of the bitcoin.org domain, which you currently control. It is their firm intention to enforce such rights in due course. The writing of this letter and any settlement or judgment relating to the infringement of our client's copyright in the white paper are entirely without prejudice to the enforcement in due course of such further rights. We look forward to hearing from you shortly. In the meantime, our clients' rights remain fully reserved without limitations. Yours faithfully, Ontario Limited Liability Partnership. Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting. There's been so much stuff going on Twitter today. And I sent a few, I even screenshotted a few tweets to myself. Here we go. Check this out. So this was something that Cobra posted like earlier today. And he said, an attempt to add the Bitcoin white paper back to the Bitcoin Core GitHub was locked. Oh, I wonder who did that. So they just simply couldn't return it and say it's not our responsibility anymore. No, you can't return it anymore. Despite proof of the white paper is MIT licensed and the thread having almost no trolling, total fear and total capitulation, Bitcoin Core is dead as a project, in my opinion. So I wonder who's locked it. Is it people that are getting scared? You know, is it Adam Back who knew what he was doing from the beginning, from the very beginning was wrong? Is he hanging all his pawns out to dry? Is he like, you know, locking him out? It's like, sorry mate, I'm washing my hands of you. You are now going to have to face the consequences. This ain't coming back in here. This GitHub has been locked despite proof of the white paper is MIT licensed and the thread having almost no trolling. Why is it locked? Somebody else doesn't want the fingers pointed at them. That's what this is all about. Oh dear, Cobra is not going to be a happy bunny, is he? No way. And this is what he also said. He goes, if you want to contribute to Bitcoin.org's legal defense against CSW's copyright claims over the white paper and alleged ownership of the domain, we have a donation address. Yeah. And there's, we can't let this continue. F. Craig. Yeah, all right, mate. I mean, look at that. It's so pathetic. All right, yeah, just, but tell you what, I'll use this opportunity to get some more money. Honestly, like seriously, boys, just grow up. Like, grow up. And let's see what. I'll check this one out. So this was posted by Eli Afram earlier by CSW in Slack, and he said a major important notice, which is why we'll go through this one. So he said, with this move, and again, this is like part of a thread, so I don't know what move that was, but he said, any institutional investor not stating the associated risks to BTC that comes from a possible loss of using the Bitcoin name faces possible criminal sanctions. Wow. So when it says, I was trying to think how I could phrase this more clearly. So it said that any institutional investor not stating the associated risk to BTC that comes from a possible loss. So that'd be like a loss of funds. I'm assuming that money, so financial loss of using the Bitcoin name. So is that like, you know, using the Bitcoin name in conjunction with BTC and losing money that way? As in kind of like people have been saying, yeah, you're buying Bitcoin in this fund, but it's BTC. Oh dear, could they be in trouble? Could Grayscale have been misleading their investors, telling them that they think they're buying Bitcoin in the white paper when they're buying BTC? I think so. This could lead to a whole lot of trouble. And this is why do your own research. This is why you shouldn't jump to conclusions. This is why you should listen to anyone. This is why you should listen to everyone who has got ideas, who is talking sense. To be honest with you, that's why I found CSW. I was just like, oh, this guy's actually talking sense. I might listen to see if he's got anything more to say. That makes sense as well. That's a really good idea. I didn't know that about Bitcoin. How do you know so much? Well, now we know. Because he wrote it. He is Satoshi Nakamoto. And the reason people don't believe that he's Satoshi Nakamoto is because, yes, he is indeed that good. That he didn't want to be found. And people still don't believe it to this day. It's hilarious. But what they don't understand is that the reason he had to step away from the project is because in order to solve the paradox of the centralized starting point, and the paradox being is that if someone created it, it means that someone else can create the same thing anywhere at any time, which means an unlimited supply and therefore a fundamental value of absolute zero. So if something has got a starting point, it means it's worth nothing. So how do you solve that? That's the paradox. Well, you solve it by diluting that central point of authority and control over time, and making sure you use a pseudonym so that nobody knows the creator's identity. You also release the white paper before you start the network to give anyone and everyone the same opportunity to start the network. This is how it has done it. Like, absolutely amazing. I don't expect shitcoiners to understand what I've just explained there, but to anybody with any, relatively, a normal amount of intelligence would be like, oh, that's a really clever way of doing it. Yeah, because nobody else has thought of it. Like, absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I mean, this is going to go on. And check this out. Thank you for Wall Street 5 for pointing this out. He goes, oh, look at this, 1,000 BTC, which represents $31 million, transferred from an unknown wallet to Coinbase. Now, why would they be transferring it to Coinbase? Is that because that's the only place where they might be able to cash out to genuine USD? Are BTC holders running scared? I would be. But I mean, there's going to be a huge cascade starting. So these are people like making moves first, and they're just like, oh shit. And it's just like, yeah, oh shit, big time. But to be honest with you, I think shitcoiners with shit for brains like are so dumb, they don't understand the danger that they're in. They honestly don't. Like, we've got people like Peter McCormack, who even when he posted this, I mean, we've got to have a look at this. I mean, this is just absolutely hilarious. Oh my goodness me! Let me find this. Hold on. All files. Come on, Pete. I know I've got your. I know I've got your quote here somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I love storing these things. Right, here we go. It's around. Oh, hold on. Almost had it. Almost got it. There we go. Oh dear, oh dear. So this was a response that Peter McCormack actually gave to a tweet by Tony Vays. And look, and this is on December the 4th. He goes, Craig Wright submitted a crazy amount of evidence that he is Satoshi in my lawsuit. And he still went out and spent $46,000 on 2 BTC, even though Craig had submitted a crazy amount of evidence that he is Satoshi in his own lawsuit. I mean, like, the level of stupidity is just like something I've never witnessed before in my life. Like, honestly, you couldn't make it up. It's absolutely hilarious. Let's see what else there is. By the way, I'm absolutely loving Twitch. By the way, so I've actually gone through literally all my messages. So everyone who has followed me, I've sent them a DM today, just to say thank you for following me. And I've had loads of replies from people saying, oh, really enjoy your show. Thanks for telling everybody about Bitcoin. You really make me laugh and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's been great, and it's been worth it. So now I will DM everyone who follows me, because I've now gone through my total of 217 followers. It's taken me 2 days, but I think it's been worth it. And have a look at Twitch here for anybody new who hasn't used this yet. You pay for your posts, but you get more in return when people like your post or when they comment on your post. It's absolutely fantastic. So if I look at my profile here, you can see that so far on Twitch I've earned $45. Now that is pushing on about like a quarter of a Bitcoin. So if you consider that I think a Bitcoin, which is BSV, is probably going to be about $1 million in 3 years' time, that's $250,000, which I've earned. Just in this short amount of time that I've been on Twitch. It's well worth it. There has never been a better time. Well, there's never been a time in history, I don't think, where there has been a return to effort ratio. Return on effort ratio, so just do as much as you can. But so I've made 362 Twitches, and I've earned $45 from them. So I mean, that's roughly what, like, I've made a profit of roughly like 12 cents on each post that I put, which is fantastic. And I certainly haven't spent 12 cents uploading posts, which means I'm getting more for them. Now, you can also get paid when you branch someone else's post. And if somebody likes the fact that you've branched somebody else's post, you can simply get paid for that. So you can piggyback off other people's hard work. Like, it's a great system. It's just all about sharing information and getting it out there. But we're just going to... oh, in fact, I think, well, yeah, go to my profile here. So this is what I've been going through today, seeing these posts. I mean, these are awesome. We'll just have a look at the ones that I've branched off today. Here we go. So we'll start from here. And by the way, these are the kind of charts that I like. Let's see if this Twitch will show us this one. So this is the S-curve graph, made up of these lines, like doing this, doing this, doing this. So you can see we are just starting. We are just starting. This is what it's going to look like. And when Bitcoin gets to about $20 million per Bitcoin, it's going to be going up by about like $1 million a week or $1 million a day, I estimate. You know, and then as it takes over 50% of the market, the return starts to diminish, but it never ever stops going up, ever. But the movement up that we are about to experience is going to be absolutely parabolic, like the world has never seen, literally, because there has never been anything like Bitcoin, and there has never been anything as valuable as Bitcoin. Bitcoin literally will revolutionize the entire world. Blockchain, and you can only have blockchain with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is BSV. That is it. So yeah, I was quite chuffed with that. That was the major notice we just seen. So I said, yeah, Coolcoin not looking like too much of a store of value today. And this was BSV versus BTC. Awesome. Right, so here we go. So this was Craig's one of his posts here to do with Cobra, and he said, so show where the license is in the paper folder of Source Forge. It isn't. Kobe wanted to change my paper. Has he forgotten? Question mark. I don't forget. I do not forgive. And Cobra had said here an attempt to add the Bitcoin. Yeah, so we saw that one earlier. So CSW had said here, sorry, MIT only covers source code. The MIT license grants you the rights to modify and distribute software. It doesn't cover copyright. So he knows. He knows. And I read somewhere else about how he was saying that it's not the fact that he forgot to license it. It's the fact that he just simply didn't license it. And he couldn't license it due to solving of the paradox of the centralized starting point. So let's have a look at, in fact, we may as well go to his, in fact, this is the first time I've sort of like used Twitch on my show. I'm loving Twitch at the moment, honestly. I really am loving it. Let's see what else we got here. It was one day ago. Oh yeah, I mean, look at all these posts. This is so if you don't want to pay for your membership of Slack, you can see snippets of his best quotes on Twitch. So to join Twitch, you just simply go to www.jointwitch.com through my invitation. Get on there. I will say hello to you and say nice to meet you. All right. For those who understand the game of chess, right now both Core and BCH are in what is called skewer. So a skewer in a chess move is when there are two pieces under attack, but it's the most dominant piece which is actually in peril at the time of the move. So he said, let's talk about Adam back there. He said, you will see the attack soon. The play is made. So it's already underway. See what this is. One of the requirements for money to be fungible in law is an exchange of goods and services for consideration without knowledge. And without knowledge is key. If you have a reasonable expectation of knowledge, such as by using alert key system to send a message to the entire network, or even that you send a message to the network that is not signed, but links to a page which shows the information, this is sufficient for a court. Again, I mean, he just knows so much stuff. Let's just start from the top because these are the most recent ones. Ooh, have a look at this. G-Max, I guess that's maybe Greg Maxwell, seems to not understand. I am Satoshi, so no problem. But when I do have this in court, I have 6 individuals who are not and admitted that that face a judge as proven. Frauds, filing a copyright claim when you are not the author, is fraud and a crime. Ooh, these guys do face criminal prosecution. Good. This is the cost of making a false statement, not that you a CSN file copyright claims. The action in court. Oh, these guys are going to get served so badly. I mean, did they honestly think they were going to get away with it? Like I said, I don't really class myself as that intelligent, but I saw through it pretty quickly. But I mean, you've just got to look at the volume, the quantity of shitcoiners in the space, you know. So yeah, maybe. Once I obtain the judgment in court, I will simply start closing domains. You see, DMCA means that I can just deplatform the entire domain. So I can wait and watch Core doing this, and in time remove them from history. Wow, wow. What was this one? Core & Co. forget on purpose that I completed my LLM Masters in International Commerce Law, specializing in trusted intermediary and intellectual property law in 2008. I didn't forget the license on the white paper. I simply didn't license it. And again, he couldn't license it, like I said, due to solving the paradox of the centralized starting point. That is absolutely fantastic. Right, so and there's another article that we've got to go through on Twitter. But check this out. Now that we've seen that Tether have turned the taps off, it just so happens that there's an article here where Binance have just uncovered a whole load of BNB tokens for its staff. So check this out. Binance staff unlock forgotten 750 million in BNB. Oh, well. That's conveniently that they just remembered it now after the Tether taps have been turned off. Almost like $750 million worth in BNB tokens. Just casually forgot about that. Binance has unlocked 16 million BNB for its staff that was supposed to be released in July 2020. The exchange simply forgot. What a load of bollocks. Well, I mean, it's just these stories are hilarious. Crypto exchange Binance has unlocked a massive amounts of Binance coin for its staff. They're going to be selling them off 6 months later than it's supposed to happen, according to Binance CEO CZ today. Honestly, the guy's an absolute snake in the grass. When Binance ran its ICO, which again is illegal because it's an initial coin offering, selling of a security, in 2017, it allocated a certain amount of the coin for its own staff. These coins were to be released periodically and handed out, and yet the exchange missed a rather large milestone. Yeah, to put it mildly. Quotes it, also unlocked 16 million BNB. These were supposed to sync to be unlocked in July 2020. We just forgot. Dope! And this is meant to be like the largest exchange in the crypto space, and you've got the CEO just saying, "Oh well, we just forgot. We just forgot." Honestly, absolutely hilarious. They are moved to Team Token Holdings address, same one as before. Oh my god. This 16 million BNB is worth around $750 million according to the coin's current price of $47. CZ later clarified that the exchange only forgot about the allocation for a small amount of time, but chose to delay it. We actually knew about it long ago. Oh, did you really? Oh, just so that I don't look incompetent. We did forget to do it in July when we were doing the burn. It was brought up to me the next day. I just said we would do it next year. As you do. Oh, yeah, we'll just wing it. Yeah, just next year. Yeah, we'll just do that. The unfreezing mainly helps the coin market cap rankings, conveniently, of BNB, as they only count circulating supply. He tweeted after this article was published, boosting the Binance ecosystem. Oh my god. Binance's whole ecosystem is built around BNB coin. The exchange offers a discount on trading fees to those who use the coin to pay for their fees. It can be used to participate in token sales on Binance Launchpad, and it's used to power Binance decentralized exchange. There's no such thing as a decentralized exchange. Oh my goodness me. People that believe this shit, they're in for a rude awakening. The coin is also used to reward its employees. Not only were certain amounts allocated by the exchange in its ICO, but many employees chose to receive their salary in BNB. Well, that's good for you, isn't it? This creates a feedback loop where staff have a potential incentive to grow the exchange in order to increase the uptake of BNB and potentially its price. Zhao also confirmed today that the Binance team hasn't sold any BNB from the ICO allocation. In case if you're wondering, Binance team had never sold a single BNB from the team allocation ever, or not yet. They were frozen and transferred to publicly viewable addresses, never moved beyond that, and other than being burned, he said. I mean, it's just excuses after excuses. You know, Binance also helps put upward pressure on the price of BNB by regularly burning its supply. Today, burning the largest amount ever. Oh, whatever. Just just trying to put a positive spin on it. Like, honestly, it's just absolutely hilarious. But there was an article by CoinCap, Cointelegraph, that revealed a double spend on BTC earlier. So let's just try and find that. Here we go. So we go onto their page. Let me see if I can find this one. News, Bitcoin news. Don't want any shitcoin news. Let's see if I can remember the picture that I saw. If it comes up. Load more articles. Yes, please. This is the one. Look at this. Bitcoin double spend spotted in the wild. BitMEX research has identified what is believed to be a double spend. And remember, double spend, you know, the Byzantine generals problem, like it's meant to be a Byzantine fault tolerance and all that kind of stuff. Like, Corecoin have totally messed up Bitcoin. Totally messed it up. So, BitMEX research has identified what it believed to be a double spend Bitcoin transaction worth $21. And with that $21, I mean, not that BTC had any value whatsoever, but this just simply brings it out into the open for any shitcoiners who don't understand this yet. BitMEX research has identified a suspect double spend transaction valued at 0.0006236 BTC, or roughly $21. And it doesn't appear to be an instance of that popular replaced by fee wallet hack. On Jan 20th, which is yesterday, BitMEX fork monitor noted that multiple blocks were produced at height 666833. BitMEX research tweeted, 1 hour later, BitMEX research attributed the orphaned block to a replaced by fee transaction, which is where an unconfirmed transaction is replaced with a new transfer paying a higher fee. And again, we see this all the time on Transaction Highway. However, Fork Monitor has since updated its advice to say no replaced by fee bumps have been detected. Twitter user and BSV Australian advocate Eli Afram noted the mixed messages from BitMEX research, asserting that the double spend transaction should be cause for concern despite its small value. He said here, so it appears an actual double spend has occurred on BTC, not a replaced by fee, but an actual double spend. A mere 22 USD, but this could have been 22 million. Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin white paper is credited with having solved the double spend problem in 2009. The challenge of ensuring a decentralized network can autonomously verify that the same coins have not been transferred more than once had stemmed earlier attempts to add digital cash. In July, crypto security firm Zenko identified a double spend exploit targeting several popular Bitcoin wallets. While the wallet manufacturers moved to address the exploit, Bitcoin Cash proponent Hayden Otto warned the vulnerability may be inherent to BTC's replaced by fee functionality. Absolutely. He'd earlier exploited the same vulnerability in a viral video. I mean, literally, it is absolute piece of shit. Oh, 12 minutes ago, what's this? Bitcoin white paper fight could end up in court as both parties escalate drama. Ooh, drama, drama, drama. Let's have some. The dispute over the legal ownership of the Bitcoin white paper could make it all the way to the court as one website owner refuses to back down from Craig Wright's legal threats. He's not going to win. He's not going to win. The unfolding drama surrounding the ownership of the Bitcoin, the Corecoin, BTC white paper could very well make its way to the courts after both sides embroiled in the dispute told Cointelegraph they're ready to go all the way. On Jan 21st, the owners of two Bitcoin websites were threatened with legal action by lawyers representing Craig Wright, the man who claims to be the Bitcoin inventor Satoshi Nakamoto. Craig Wright claims to be the original copyright holder of the Bitcoin white paper and demanded that both sites remove their locally hosted copies of the document on threat of legal action. One website, bitcoincore.org, has since removed the white paper, reasoning that becoming entangled in a costly legal battle with the litigation-happy Wright would achieve little and isn't a hill worth dying on. However, the owner of bitcoin.org, which was also targeted by Wright, has so far refused to remove the white paper and said he has no intention of doing so. Speaking exclusively to Cointelegraph, the pseudonymous developer known as Cobra said he'd be willing to defend himself in court. Oh, that's a big mistake. Should legal proceedings be brought against him? He said no legal proceedings have actually started, but we're prepared to go all the way and defend ourselves if it comes down to it. He'll back down literally like a sheep. You know, this is all bravado, like when he realizes the hot water that he's in. Ed Powell of CoinGeek, who has spoken on behalf of Craig Wright in the past, told Cointelegraph that Cobra and others who refused to comply had 4 options ahead of them. 1. Do not respond and do nothing. This will result in Craig issuing court proceedings against them for copyright infringement. 2. Respond to our letters and tell us where to go as above. 3. Respond to our letters telling us they are taking down the white paper, the publications of the white paper from their websites, and they actually do so, no action to be taken. Easiest course of action. 4. Do not respond to our letters, but still take down the white paper, the publications of the white paper from their websites as per 3. When presented with the 4 points ultimatum from Wright's team, Cobra's response was blunt, appearing to signal a preference for option number 1. He said, "Seems like what I thought, and we'll just not respond. F them." Powell said that should Cobra fail to respond to legal proceedings, Wright's counsel would be willing to apply to the courts for a default judgment where a defendant who fails to respond or offer a defense is judged without trial. In 2019, Wright attempted to sue Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin for defamation after Buterin ridiculed Wright's claim of being Satoshi Nakamoto, calling him a fraud. In this instance, Buterin simply didn't respond to the letter and deadline eventually ran out. Wright has previously launched lawsuits against numerous figures in the cryptocurrency space, including Bitcoin podcaster Peter McCormack, Bitcoin developer Adam Back, and founder of Bitcoin.org.com Roger Ver, all with varying degrees of success. Exciting times, people. Mega exciting times. That's what I'll say to that. There we go. Let's leave that there. Right, peeps. I've been going an epic show. There are going to be more epic shows. In fact, you know, I've enjoyed this one so much, I might actually put the whole episode on YouTube just so that shitcoiners, you know, get a chance to actually see this and actually listen to what I've got to say. They might be like, "Oh, didn't know that." Right, well, now you do. So anyway, it's time for Ding a Dong. Any questions and stuff, please put them in the chat box along with your Handcash handles and paymails. Let's do this. Here we go. Rock and roll. Shelly Max is 20 to 22 here. I wonder why. Number go up. There are going to be many more flooding in very soon. Very soon I'm going to have to up my game for everybody. Let's read here. So Diddy asks, how does Calvin feel about Roger spreading Bcrash over Antigua? Yeah. Well, I mean, Roger's just like going to cafes, isn't he? You know, I mean, it's an absolute joke. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you'd be pissed off if you got some guy like shitting in your backyard, basically. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be stopped. I thought the Antiguan government had said they would use BSV only. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they're just as confused as everyone else. They're just kind of like listening to Roger and listening to Calvin and listening to Craig. Yeah, they're trying to appease everybody because they don't understand it themselves. So, you know, I mean, who knows? I mean, they might be trying to compromise. You know, that's what I'd say. Did he ask CSW copyright claim? Do you think Michael Saylor has heard the news yet? Well, I mean, Michael Saylor should be keeping his ear to the grindstone and listening to all of this, and he should be listening to my show. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting because there's going to be a mass exodus of CoreCoin into Bitcoin because it's an absolute piece of shit and it doesn't work. You know, it really doesn't take much to figure that out. Like, honestly, just try sending a transaction on it. Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. And Smoker Pipe asks CSW, how does he know so much? Mate, his intellectual capacity is like literally something I've never seen or witnessed before. Like being Asperger's, like I know this is hard, like, but you have to disassociate his like social etiquette, if you want for want of a better word, or social capabilities. With his academic capabilities. Like honestly, and the stories that other people have told me about the things that he's done that literally only he could do, like literally just blow my head back. Like literally. And I've witnessed it because he's been in the same chat group as me before. Like the workload that he is able to produce is just unbelievable. Yeah, literally unbelievable. It's like my brain is relatively slow. It takes me time to process things and learn things, whereas like it's just unbelievably fast. And I've met people like him, that are, well, maybe probably Asperger's, but like they've just got incredible minds. And he's just come at the right time. And he's had the interest and the tenacity and the capabilities, to produce Bitcoin. I mean, honestly, we've got to pinch ourselves and just thank ourselves, that he's come along at this time in our lives. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Connor G says, great show. Oh, thanks very much. Rich says, why did Craig lose his case against Roger? He didn't lose his case. It was to do with jurisdiction, which is why he then sued him in Antigua, because they're both residents in Antigua, and Antigua follows like the UK legal system, something like that. So yeah, he's served him when he was in Antigua. That was it. So yeah, that's cool. Savtoshi in there. Says, I love Roger Ver. And Rich says, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Oh, yeah. Brilliant stuff. Right, peeps, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the show. Let's do ding-a-dong, and remember, ding each other's dong as well whenever you see like a handle or pay mail in. I think I know everybody, to be honest with you, but we'll start from the bottom. Saves me, and just in case I lose the page. Rich, there we go. Coming to you. Next. Yep. Swiping to send on the way. Turn the volume up. Oh, there, got it. There we go. That's the first dong. Savtoshi, I can see you next. Here we go. Savtoshi, there we go. Matt Savage. Swiping to send. And remember, guys, like, number is going to go up on my show, but like I said, there's going to be loads of people contacting me. I mean, obviously I'll help as many people as I can, but, we all need to sort of like club together. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing these shows, is to like educate people, give people the confidence in the knowledge that they've got as well, so they can fundamentally understand it. Once people have a fundamental understanding, they can then work things out for themselves and answer questions themselves in their own way. That's the whole point. Like literally the entire world is going to come flooding into Bitcoin. Yeah, and the classic question is, what is BSV? Well, it's just Bitcoin. Oh, well, it can't be Bitcoin because Bitcoin's already out there. No, let me tell you, it's all about the political situation. I mean, one day, I would like to get Michael Saylor on my show. I mean, what? So we got like 20 to 22 here. I can see the viewing figures actually going up, on the shows on YouTube. So you're slowly, but sooner or later there is going to be a stampede. Like literally a stampede, because the knowledge that I'm giving out here is the knowledge that I wanted when I first came into the space, and it was nowhere. So I was just like, right, I need to tell people what I've just figured out, because I know all the fundamentals now. All about making my investments safe, because that's just the way I am. Right, so that was, we've done Reach and we've done Savtoshi. We've got Connor G in there. Here we go, on the way. Connor G, yep. In my address book, swiping to send on the way to Yow. Turning that volume on. Shelly Mac, thank you for all the work you're putting in. I do appreciate this. Here we go. Shelly Mac, there we go. That's registered. Swiping to send on the way. Dimmer Dan, all the way from Chicago. I can see you in there too. Here we go. Here we go. D-I-M-A-D. Yep, Dimmer Dan, that's registered. Swiping to send on the way. And Smoker Pipe, Neezy, thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed the show. NEE. Yep, easy. Swiping to send on the way. And BSV Russia, great stuff. It's Dmitry Krivnev. Here we go. There we got it. And swiping to send. Thank you very much for listening. And Diddy, not Duddy, you're next. Here we go. DI, there we go. Diddy, straight in there. Swiping to send on the way. Imagine trying to do ding a dong on using CoreCoin. So JP says hello from Canada. Yeah, hello to you too. CSW doing his stuff on Core. Yes, indeed. So JP, put your handle in there if you could. That would be much appreciated. Right, but I mean that's an epic show, like 1 hour 25 minutes. Yeah, I probably will put it all up on YouTube. Yeah, just so shitcoiners have got a chance on this. So yeah, we'll leave it there. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Same time tomorrow. Catch you later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. Buybsv.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online.